Hello and welcome back to the Tech Bench. Today I'm going to go over these Bally Stern Lamp Driver tester boards. This is the current incarnation of these things, the current flavor of these I've been doing. The first ones, well, let me give you a brief background on this. This all originated years ago, back when I was an operator, and I had a lot of equipment out. I was spread out over 5 counties, but didn't want to have to haul the machines in for board repairs. So I developed these test jigs where my route guys could pull the boards, bring the boards in, I could fix them, send them back out. And years ago I ran across one of these things that, at the time it looked like it was made by MacGyver on crack. But with today's technology and these PC fab companies, cleaned up the design a little bit and put a test market out on Pinside and a couple of the Facebook forums, and people seem to like them. So every few months I get enough calls, people want me to come up with some more. So this particular version of it, this is version 2, I listened to some of the suggestions. Despite what my wife says, I am capable of listening. The original one for the receiver board had a row of resistors, and that's been cleaned up and now has 3 individual resistor packs. The driver board originally had the power cord going into it. That's been replaced with a module, a power inlet module with a switch on it, so that's a little more convenient. So anyway, the way these things work is, this is the J4 module. This creates a signal and it drives into the lamp driver boards. You connect it to J4 and it actually will pass all the way through, effectively testing all of the parts on this thing. You put your receiver board in the appropriate spot, either there, or there, and as it works it will light up and blink the lights. And if a light is shorted, if a SCR is shorted, the light will come on solid. If it's open, it doesn't come on at all. And there's a little legend on the side of this thing that tells you what pin, what transistor, what light everything goes to. So one of the suggestions that was given me was that I include support for the auxiliary lamp driver boards that Bally had for a while. I don't know how many games that they use those on. I don't think it was very many. It comes to mind right off the top of my head was Xenon and Space Invaders. But the new board set includes 2 additional boards for the auxiliary drivers. So when you get these, you're going to get 4 boards. You're going to get an insulator. My wife just makes this as a card stock. She makes these on a Cricut cutter, and then I put a sticky pad on it. Because the back of the board, obviously, you've got AC going in, you've got your soldering, and you've got capabilities of being shocked there if you're not careful. So this basically covers up the back, and it keeps things from shorting out, from laying on other things, and just basically keeps it neat and safe. Maybe someday I'll come up with an enclosure of some kind to put that in, but that's really not my wheelhouse. So anyway, you get that. You get the brief instructions here. This is pretty much really straightforward. Everything's marked on the board what to do. And brief instructions, a part list showing Mauser and DigiKey parts, schematic for the Bally board, a data path for the Bally board, and then schematics for the 2 aux driver boards. So let's demonstrate this. We're going to take the driver and we're going to line it up and we're going to connect it on J4. Then we're going to take the receiver board and actually let's put it down here. Line it up, put it on there, and then you plug in your tester, you turn on the power, and the lights blink. So if you look at the legend off to the side, you'll see this one, this first one that's blinking is on J1, would be Q4, and on J3 it's not used. So we're on J3, so I think we're on the fourth one down. So the fourth one down would be on J3, would be Q32. So that first light that's blinking is controlled by this SCR right here. If this SCR was shorted, the light would be on solid, just like that. So I hope you can see these things. I never know with this. This is my first time trying to record with a web camera, so I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work out, but we'll give it a shot. Hopefully you get the idea. So now, due to the requests I got, I have also added support for the auxiliary lamp drivers. There's two different versions of that. And this one here is the AS251852. So basically you just you put your adapter boards on there, plug in the tester, just like before, plug in the boards, power it on, and there's the lights blinking. Now you'll notice on these there are two lights that are on all the time. On the other board, on the regular lamp driver board, HSCR is assigned a light. To try to make this as universal as possible, I made these adapters to work with the existing receiver boards. So basically what's happening here is the pins on here that are connected to ground are causing these lights to stay on. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It just means that these pins are connected to ground. So instead of going through an SCR, there's a legend in here that tells you which one is actually which. How to put it? Oh, it's on the front page. So on the let's see. For example, here we are on the 251852. And we are currently on J3, so it says it's on. J2 is on. The next one up, or excuse me, not J2, but the next one up was on. The one up above, third one up from the bottom would be Q25. So anyway, the legend breaks down which one's which. When you use these on the auxiliary boards, they're a little harder to line up. They're a little more difficult. Again, I tried to make them as universal as possible, so we'd end up having several versions, several different plugs for different things. This one's pretty straightforward because it's 20 pins. This is 20 pins. This one's only 18 pins, so you line up the bottom on this instead of the top. Put my old man glasses on here at this rate. So you line up the bottom, and you get the same thing there. You got one of them that's on all the time because that particular pin is going to ground, and then the rest of them blink accordingly. So anyway, that is it. These are now available. They're back in stock. You get just the boards. These are the consensus was people are always ordering from Mouser and DigiKey, and they wanted to order their own parts. They wanted to build their own boards. So these are sold just as the boards, and the instructions and a little bit of paperwork. So they do not come with any parts. They do not come assembled, just boards. Keep that in mind, and hopefully these can help you.